Zelda. Speedrunning. Two ideas that have been associated with each other since before video games existed. But what if I were to speedrun Breath of the Wild, but Lynel's, Guardians, and the ghosts of my past were allowed to spawn anywhere they wanted? What if you wanted to have phantom armor in your inventory, but God said, "Hey yo, what the fuck?" What if, for only a moment, it was just the two of us? Me, and the 18 hours worth of stream it took me to beat Waikuteru's Breath of the Wild randomizer. In order to become the greatest of all time, we have to acquire the randomizer staff on our way out of the Shrine of Resurrection, which will give us 3 separate tasks to complete before fighting Ganon at the end. We have to collect 7 Hylian shrooms, kill 2 Molduga, and kill 1 golden Lynel. Seem easy? It is, for anyone other than me. We started off fantastically by randomly grabbing a piece of the phantom armor from a Korok, but only in exchange for my life. Sensing my weakened state, the game raised the temperature of Hyrule to 1 billion degrees in an attempt to do away with me, but I made it into the safety of Zelda's cutscene to save my life. On my way to the chest on top of the Temple of Time, I was randomly warped somewhere on the map so that I wouldn't be able to reach my full potential using the contents of that chest. I appeared on the mountainscape across from Zora's domain with a few high-level moblins ready to kill me, but I managed to avoid them and make it to the shrine to unlock the fast travel point, but since I hadn't activated the plateau tower, the shrine wasn't ready for me yet. Given that there was nothing for me here, I attempted to warp back to the plateau, but appeared in the sky miles away from where I was aiming. Even though I wasn't trying to do it, the speedrunner in my DNA simply forced me to wrong warp multiple times before taking me to the correct location after a few minutes. Finally having another chance to make it to the tower, I was set on fire by the air and died warping back to Zora's domain, as I had forgotten to save after escaping. I was luckier this time, being able to make it back to the tower with the correct fast travel and activate it. I jumped off the tower in an attempt to end the run, but my speedrunner instincts kicked in, causing me to perform a perfect fall damage cancel, and making me find my way to the bomb shrine. The shrines on the Great Plateau have a chance of being random, but more important than anything, I need to prioritize getting bombs, because being able to win bomb around will save tons of time, but my game freezes in the loading screen, forcing me to reload. Proving that the Sheikah Slate was in fact waterproof, I runned to the end of the shrine, blowing up everything in sight and grabbing a pair of Royal Guards pants to go with my phantom chest piece, then grabbed an Elder Ball to exit the crypt and find myself stranded in the desert where I succumbed to the heat and perished. Spawning back in the desert, I warped away, but as is tradition, I went exactly where I didn't want to go. I can't escape this area because I don't have nearly enough stamina to swim or climb out, but I wasn't planning on giving up. I climbed on the shrine pedestal and performed maybe my best wind bomb ever to perfectly land on a nearby cliff without taking any fall damage, only to be warped out. Having little control over my location, I spent a lot more time on the Great Plateau than I otherwise would, looking around for Koroks and their random items, and finding a couple of unexpected things occurring as well. No, run, old man, run! You deserve more than this. Let's fight him together. While in the Rito village, I noticed the theme of the village to be eerily similar to the Meadows theme from Valheim. I got sidetracked for a bit and lost some time to go look up both themes, which is just something I had to include in the video. I decided to invest in a pair of snow quill trousers so I'd have a way to combat the possible cold climate that could strike at any moment. At the time, I thought that items couldn't be removed from my inventory if I bought them from a shop. This is not true. Having put an hour and a half into this run already, I figured it was probably time to finish up the Great Plateau, going back to stasis, having already completed bombs. With stasis done, I glided toward Cryonis, avoiding as many lightning bolts as I could, and entered. Although out of the weather's reach inside the shrine, I wasn't yet out of reach of the game's wrath as a whole. The Mini Guardian's laser here will only hit you for a quarter heart, and since I had full health, I didn't worry whether it hit me or not. But the randomizer had other plans. Having completed 3 of the Plateau Shrines, the old man congratulated me on completing all 4 of the Plateau Shrines and asked me to meet him at the Temple of Time. I attempted to BLS there before being challenged by Twitch chat to parry and kill the Guardian that had randomly spawned near me. Of course, my skill shined through immediately as I parried the first laser and not the second one. Using a wind bomb as an equally adequate mode of transport at this point, I landed on the top of the Temple of Time and received a delicious meal from King Rome Bosphorus Hyrule. From here, we decided that the best place to start would be the desert to kill the Moldugas from my second goal. On the way there, we discussed how I would go about defeating the gold Lynel for my third goal without spending days collecting the necessary material to fight under these circumstances, and I ran into a little bit of luck. I'll need all the luck I can get. I'll just play it as safe as I can. I think I'm pretty good with the Lynel pattern. Problem is I'm gonna have to find one that is alone. And it's not master mode. You know this... When better a time are we gonna have? The only thing around are some moblins. I attempted to fight the Lionel on my own, but I knew that I would likely never have another perfect chance like this. And even with an alone Lionel, it would take a lot of rare and strong equipment to kill it, so I decided to just use one of my ancient arrows and send him to the Shadow Realm, but was punished for my cheating ways. I BLSS into the desert and activate the fast travel point outside Gerudo Town before heading out to find Molduga and discovering the dangers of the wide open desert as a place where tons of monsters are free to spawn. Molduga's health bar showed up on screen, letting me know I had found the area, but the time of day randomly changed, turning my screen white and giving Molduga the perfect opportunity to sneak up and kill me. The first attempt at killing the Molduga went incredibly, getting its health super close to 0, but that is the first attempt. That ends it all. Is this it right now? No, stop. What am I supposed to do if it's stuck? Molduga sees me, fuck yeah, oh my... It takes another! With enough time, I did kill the first Molduga. That is the first Molduga. Finally, I was able to beat the second Molduga using the practice I had gained from the first, and then found the Master Cycle 0 in Hyrule Field before heading to the castle. Upon entry, I realized that I had forgotten to grab all the Hylian shrooms I needed for my first goal, but luckily I was able to grab one out of a crate that I hunted down in the castle walls. I climbed all the way to the top of the castle and entered the sanctum. It told me I had completed all of my goals, only to tell me I'm missing one or more goals, but I think it says this either way, so I bypassed it with the "this is a bug" option and moved into the fight. The bosses went about how you would expect. That is, if you expected to take me 19 attempts and 4 separate streams just to get past the blights. After many deaths, I knew that the only way I would be able to beat this final hurdle would be to, for the first time in my YouTube career, employ a strategy. Earlier, I was able to randomly get Urbosa's Fury, which is crucial because you'll need it to complete my plan. You start with WINDBLIGHT Ganon, who you have to use the duplex bow to knock out of the air using its extra shots. Do this over and over again, following the knock with slashes from some of the weaker weapons like the Knight's Sword. But most importantly, make sure to use up all 3 Urbosa's Fury charges before the end of this fight. After defeating WINDBLIGHT, dodge left to Flurry Rush WaterBlight's spear attacks until it reaches half health, where you can use up the rest of the duplex bow's durability, knocking it down and taking its health with one of the 3 Lysol tri-boomerangs I had collected prior. FIREBLIGHT quickly becomes the easiest one when a member in my chat tells me that if you hit him with a circle bomb followed by a square bomb, you can knock him down. Guys, come follow me on Twitch. I'm probably going to be messing around with a new Kirby game when it drops, and plenty of Zelda stuff on the way as well. THUNDERBLIGHT is a sight that most people would recognize as alarming, but with the proper strategy you can take him down easy. You can take him down easy. Receiving slight security after using the Electro Elixirs I crafted earlier, all you have to do is try to hit every Flurry Rush and wait for the Magnesis stage where you can get larger chunks of health off, and then hopefully parry the laser he is sure to shoot eventually. With all 4 blights completed, you're now ready to take on the scarier part of the challenge. Calamity Ganon uses abilities from all of the blights to fight you, but most difficult is the amount of health he has. By this point you won't have many weapons to spare, but luckily the game compensates for this by leaving a few royal weapons lying around the edges of this arena. Even with these, you're gonna have to use your durability wisely and get lucky enough to not lose any of your weapons randomly. During the first half of the fight, I prioritize using up the remainder of my arrows and bows, as they won't really be helpful during the second phase due to his shield. After filling him with arrows and forcing the shield out of him, you have to rely on your ability to Flurry Rush and parry lasers to get hits in. In the beginning, you should have tactically used up all of your champion ability charges, not only to save weapon durability, but also so that you would have enough time to recharge them by the time you got here. With enough time and 1 weapon to spare, you should be able to defeat him, but only in his first form. This randomizer adds a lot of surprises to the otherwise lackluster Dark Beast Ganon fight, like every type of enemy being able to randomly spawn at all times, and weather being able to do whatever it wants during the fight. I've seen a lot of other streamers have some chaos happen here. I died once to a Lionel, but other than that I was lucky enough to avoid most of the enemies here, and put enough arrows in Dark Beast Ganon to kill him. With that, Hyrule was saved, I was the greatest speedrunner of all time, and it only took me 18 hours, 2 weeks, and all the happiness I had left. If you enjoyed the video, you can do the nice things and come check me out on Twitch and Discord if you want to have a little more first-hand interaction with the community. This was fun. Bye.